And let's get into it. So hopefully everybody can see it here. So sales training to explode your wholesaling. Guys, if you are not seeing the presentation, if you go to YouTube, Flip with Rick, everything's there. Hit subscribe and you can see all this and it's recorded. So especially you guys online right there. So sales training to explode your wholesaling business. I promise you, this is not going to be your standard presentation. Okay. I've worked on this so long and I've pulled stuff out of my head. Sometimes I shock myself. And the really cool thing of like working with your son, if you guys ever have the chance to work with family, is your kids know you better than anyone. And he pulls stuff out of my head when we do like high-end appointments or we're buying very expensive real estate. And he's like, how did you come up with that? I go, you know what? The reality is a lot of trial and error. I don't want you to do 20 years of trial and error. I want you to do 3 to 6 months. So let's go. Let me jump into it. So I'm going to start with the basics. I'm going to give you 5 steps that's needed to absolutely explode your wholesaling business through sales. Okay. The first part of it is going to be a little bit like routine because you cannot skip it. Without it, it doesn't work. So the first process in any sales is just rapport. And that's your ability just to connect with the seller. I'm not going to go into detail of this. It's very common. So what you want to do is when you're going on the appointment is you want to look for commonality things. Family is usually the easiest one. Look around, look at their hopes, their dreams, look at their football teams. Do not look at their basketball team because my basketball team got killed last night. They didn't even show up. So hopefully they'll show up this weekend. But I'm a big Miami Heat fan. So the challenge most wholesalers have is when they get in the rapport building, you start connecting with the seller. And honestly, it's easy to start. You just start talking. The minute you walk in the house, you look around and find things. I usually like to keep it to maximum 10 minutes. So if I walk in an appointment, say it's 3:00, at 3:10, I know I have to start transitioning from rapport building to the next sales phase. So many of you guys, like if you're a really nice person, you can put in the comments on there. If you have problems like transitioning from like, hey, you know, I see your kids. I see they love to go skiing. The problem is a lot of times for you to stay comfortable and not get uncomfortable, you stay in rapport building. And guys, this was me the first 2 years I did this. I would spend 30, 40 minutes. And the problem is if you stay in the rapport zone too long, they're not going to take you seriously for what you want to do. Guys, if you want to get on a coaching call, go to Wholesaling Houses for Real. Make sure you're subscribed there. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube Flip with Rick. And on the Wholesaling for Real Facebook page, pegged on the top is the link to the coaching program. Just click it and you can follow the procedures from there. So you have to transition. So if you find that you're a super nice person and you get stuck in the rapport zone, make sure you watch your time when you go in and make sure you transition before 10 minutes. Okay. So if you're coming up 9 minutes, just simply say, listen, Mr. Seller, I could talk to you all day about our kids and our family, but let's talk about the house. And I want to learn more about your situation. Where's a place where we can sit down and get to know each other a little bit better? That's it. That's your transition. So many people skip that part because you're uncomfortable to get to the negotiations. You know, it's more uncomfortable when you sit there an hour and a half and you haven't even talked about the house yet. So yes, Blanca asked, is this live? Yes, it's 5:21 p.m. Eastern time on Friday on the 20th. So it's always live, guys. So guys, get your transition. It's really, really important. I'm telling you, so many people overlook this and they get stuck in the rapport zone and they don't know where to go from there. The next one is when you transition from rapport, you're going to go into qualifying your seller. So you guys know the 4 qualifying questions. It's all in freewholesaling.com. These are the 4 pillars to question your sellers. And the idea is to make sure you have some sort of motivation in a seller. Guys, if the qualification, if they do not meet the parameters, do not sit there and try to buy their house. You're literally going to waste your time. So I'm going to go through them rather quickly. It's all in the course, guys, freewholesaling.com. It's on the bottom scrolling on there. And let me get the banner off there so we can see everything. There we go. So the first thing you want to find out is motivation. So you don't ask them what their motivation is. You're using your 4 questions as kind of your script. And now I go to motivation. Now I have to engage them in a conversation. So, Mr. Seller, tell me what's going on. Like, how do we connect with each other? And the idea is you need to do 80% of the talking and you do 20% of the listening. Okay. Let them talk because that will give you all the information you need to find out if the motivation is there. If you keep talking, you can't find out what their motivation is, and you're never going to find out what their pain is, and you can't help them out. So I'm not asking him, Mr. Seller, what's your motivation? Mr. Seller, tell me how we got connected. Remind me again. And the idea is you want them to unload. It is common for them to start talking way outside the house. My wife left me. I have a sick child. I need to go help my mother out. Remember, wholesaling is just a symptomatic form of human issues. We are solving problems. The real estate is just a mathematical problem. You need to get and connect with the human emotion. Guys, this is why you have to go through the 4 questions. Here's the reality. If you cannot qualify the 4 questions and they only want price, it's literally a waste of your time. Save yourself the breath. My first 2 years, I chased everybody and I almost burnt out. And I learned quickly, if there's not some form of motivation, I'm never going to get a good deal. Once you accept that fact, actually wholesaling is really, really easy. And you can retarget your list to make sure you do it. The next one is you're going to find out about the condition of the house. This is really simple because either you're there or if you guys are doing this virtually, you're asking for details, or maybe you're doing a screen share or a Zoom or a FaceTime. Technology is amazing. You can do so much in real estate today, but you need to find out the condition so you can get the correct pricing on it. A lot of sellers will tell you the information. If you're going to meet there and there's a tenant there, they will flat out tell you the truth and take it for word because they live there and they know what's going on with it. Sometimes sellers will lie to you. So look at the clues. If you see the air conditioning make a ton of sound and you go, hey, how's the AC working? Oh, it's just perfect. Make a mental note. They're lying to you. So find out what the condition is, and you're going to have to verify it with your eye. And the idea is get a good enough price where condition is already priced in there, and you don't have to fight for that last $2,000 to $5,000. The third one, time frame. Why is time frame important? Because if somebody's not looking to sell their house in an immediate time, in my opinion, most people are usually within 3 months of selling a house that are serious. Once they go to 4 to 6 months, you just put them in a follow-up. And here's the key with time frame, guys. Not everybody is ready to sell their house right there. It doesn't mean it's a bad lead. It just means you're timing off. How do you fix that? Massive follow-up and just keep following up till they tell you, I'm not 100% ever going to sell my house. And even then, I don't even take them out of my follow-up unless like they're very, very adamant about it. So time frame is everything. Why? Because if somebody wants to sell a house now, I'm going to put all my energy in that person. Someone's selling 6 months down the road, I'm just going to work with them and I'm just going to keep following up. I'm not going to go on a deep dive like right off the bat because prices could change and hopefully they get closer to ready selling the house. The key is make sure they contact you. And then the last one is price. And I put next to her is I never ask what their price is. Price is a bad word. It's not a 4-letter word. It's a 5-letter word. Never ask for the price. What are you asking for the property? You need to use the words like need. What do you need to get out of it? What would get you on your way on this house? Don't ever ask the price. Price and the word ask or your asking price, because now you're talking in realtor world. And unless you want to be a realtor, you don't want to do that. So phase 3, the conversation. I promise you, this is where it's going to get really, really good. And you want to pay attention here because nobody teaches this stuff. Your tonality is everything. Okay. The way you pronounce a word invokes so much emotion. And we're going to talk about your beliefs and everything else that goes along with it. Tonality is everything. Let me ask you, do you really trust someone to say, listen, Mr. Seller, I can buy your house and I'll get it done quickly and I'm the right fit? Or go, listen, Mr. Seller, I'm here to help you out. I hear you loud and clear that you want to get to your sister's house and you want to be there by the end of the month and you need X, Y, Z. If I can make that happen, I would love to work with you. Is that something that we can do together? See, you got to understand tonality is everything, and so many people don't understand it. So, anybody who has kids on this live, you guys are masters at tonality. You don't even know it until you talk to your kids and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Tone invokes emotion, emotion invokes the heart, and people can make decisions. If you want to be an order taker, just go with the same tonality. It is brutal. Guys, practice with your tonality. If you have kids, just use exactly what you do with your kids. If you have a significant other and say you want something very valuable and you got to kind of get their endorsement to do it, I promise you, you're bringing in tonality. See, you have to bring the same passion into wholesaling, and it makes a tremendous difference in how your sellers engage with you. They will remember it. If they meet with 3 wholesalers and you are passionate, you invoke tonality, and you're emotional, you will stick out. Here's the reality. Most people want 2 things from wholesalers. They want convenience, which you already understand how that works. And number 2, they want their dignity. They don't want to be embarrassed, and they want to feel like they're really important. And if you treat them like a number and tell them how bad their house is, you're wasting your time. So tonality, I can't stress this enough. Listen to my tone right here. Tone makes a huge difference. I have experimented with sellers. I've used the exact same language, changed the tonality, and I've gotten a deal or no deal based on my tone. And I've watched it time and time again with other wholesalers. I'm guys telling you, if you don't understand your tone, start recording yourself and listen to how you talk to people. It makes a tremendous difference. Okay. So tonality ties into speed. So everybody knows you're supposed to mirror your sellers, and you do. They talk fast, you talk fast. They talk slow, you talk slow. But sometimes you can say, hey, listen, Mr. Seller, I hear exactly what you're saying. So many times we talk about speeding it up. I'm telling you, slowing it down invokes the most emotion. Speeding up just means I can keep up with you, and it shows them respect. Um, every now and then I get some really fast talker. Like I had someone today. I swear I had to focus all my power. They were talking so fast. And then when I would talk slow, they would run me over. But if I talked fast, they would hear me out. So remember, you're always learning in this business. So tonality is important. Speed, how you time it is key. Guys, so many people forget this. When you're meeting with sellers, especially physically, your posture is everything. If you're bent over backwards, if you're constantly looking down, it's important. I'm going to add one more thing, which I didn't put in there: posture and eye contact. Eye contact's everything. You need to look your sellers dead in the eye because it will give you telltales on which way they're leaning. And you will, within a matter of a year, you will learn how to read people. Like there's entire books on this stuff, and I've studied them all. Did you know when somebody looks up, they're trying to find an answer for you? Do you know when they look down, they're ashamed and they don't want to give you the answer? And typically they don't want to tell you the truth. And it goes on and on. But 75% of the population has a telltale sign. And once you can find it, you will know what people are thinking before they even say it. So you want to sit upright, you want to have good posture. If they're sitting, you're sitting. If they're standing, you're standing. You guys know the story on this. So word timing is everything. So not only is tonality important and the speed and how you look in your appearance, you got to time your words correctly. So sometimes if you start out front by telling them everything you can do for them, I find a lot of times they are numb to it because they're trying to find out if they even want to do business with you. So you've got to find places in your conversation to strike at the right time. So if you tell them about how great you are and you buy homes cash and this is what I do, and you tell them all up front, you don't even know what their problem is. You don't even know if they're going to do business with you, and they haven't made any commitment to you. You have to time the words correctly. Okay. You have to go through a process, and it's important. If you randomly keep shoving words in here and there, like you don't know what the outcome is going to be. So I find that timing, if you can put in the right set of words at the right time, it makes a tremendous difference. Let me give you an example. I told you guys earlier this week, I dealt with a gentleman on a very high-end property, very wealthy man. You know what he said? He says, Rick, I don't need to sell this house. And honestly, I was a little bit stumped because I'm used to the opposite. So usually we're going like this. I know you don't want to sell the house, but you need to sell the house in foreclosure, behind in payments, or being evicted. Take the other approach is, he said, listen, his objection to me is like, Rick, I don't need to sell the house. I don't need the money. And I said, John, I know you don't need to sell the house, but I'm confident you want to sell the house. And the timing is what made all the difference in the world and me getting that contract. And I was competing with 3 other very sophisticated buyers. And he said, at the end of the day, he goes, you get me and you connected with me. Guys, this is what I've been doing for 20 years. So word timing, I'm here to tell you, it does take some experience to do. But how you learn word timing is when you lose out on deals, you find opportunities where if you could inject the right words, would it change their mind? So remember, in sales process is about earning people's trust. And if you ever break it, no word timing in the world is going to help you out. So it doesn't need to be perfect, but the really cool thing is you get more experience. Word timing is absolutely amazing. Okay, a couple of tricks here. Never, ever blame your sellers regardless of what they say or what they think. Sellers do crazy things, guys, and you have to be on their side. Okay. I'm not talking about crazy stuff, but like they do crazy stuff to the house and they make outrageous statements and you can't pick them apart for it. I see so many wholesalers are like, oh, the roof's terrible. And if you start using words like terrible, ugly, I don't understand how you live like this, you're done. Forget it. They're never going to give you a good deal. You're wasting your time. Okay. Be very careful with your words. Number 2, if like sometimes when I used to go on appointments, I would have like realtors there. My acquisitions guys, they have to deal with this all the time. And I teach them, no matter how bad that person trashes you in front of you, don't fight back. Sellers watch how you respond to negativity. And if you respond and fight back with negativity, you are just like everybody else. So it's important you don't trash talk into your competition. You don't talk bad, especially when they're standing in front of you and when they're not standing in front of you. Because the seller's like, why are they talking bad about them? People learn when you talk bad about people all the time and you're trying to get their business, they're just going to assume you have a negative mindset, and you definitely want to avoid that. So, okay, guys, here's where we're getting into the nitty gritty. And I'm telling you, if you can understand this concept I'm about to explain to you, I promise you, you will have a mind shift in how you view your wholesaling and how you're going to approach it going forward. So here's the secret to wholesaling success. First of all, you have to have a belief. Okay. So let's define what a belief is. So a lot of people are like, oh, I kind of know what a belief is. I'm like, trust me. A belief a belief is simply a mental acceptance of a statement in which you personally hold true. That's it. A belief doesn't mean what you believe in is true. Okay. There's plenty of people who believe in stuff that's just crazy, 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 and it's not true. A belief is just a belief. It's basically your opinion. And from a mental capacity, you hold it as truth, and it's good. Here's the problem with that. Most of you operating wholesaling believe a belief alone is what's going to drive you over the finish line for wholesaling. And I'm here to tell you, I promise you, your belief, you're going to have so many arrows shot through it. You're going to have so many people, they're either going to tell you this business is illegal, it's a scam, you're stealing properties from little old ladies, and you're going to start doubting your belief. Remember, you have to protect your belief. And if you don't believe strongly in your belief, people are going to shoot holes in it. And then you're going to start questioning your belief. And once you question your belief, you are done in this business. I watch it all the time. I watch a lot of you when you guys come on these lives and I talk to you. Why do you think I ask you what your why is? You know why? Because your why is what's going to hold it all together. So if a belief is a mental acceptance of a statement you hold true in your head, is that enough to succeed in wholesaling? It's not. I'm here to tell you, here's the magic in this. A belief is just, it's a program, it's a software in your head, and that's it. It can be changed, it can be altered at any time. The question is, how do you stick through it when you are getting lit up? Sellers are yelling at you, realtors going crazy on you, cash buyers are backing out on you. You ready? You want to see the big secret, guys? Please give me some likes on this, because I'm telling you, I've never really shared this before because it was really hard to put in words. And it's almost like a sixth sense you have to describe. So we always talk about belief in your why. Okay. Belief alone is not enough to be a great at sales or a great wholesaler. It's just not enough, guys. Have you ever believed in something so much, like, oh, I'm gonna get it, and then a month or two later, somebody shot holes in it and you started self-doubting yourself and you didn't move forward with it? Guys, it happens all the time. And you need to understand that your belief is a starting point. And the idea is you do deals to give you confidence. And once you do deals, then I'll have confidence in my belief. But I'm here to tell you, at some point, you're going to have to take a leap of faith. So I'm not here to talk about faith. A faith is a belief in an outcome you believe is going to happen no matter what, regardless of how or when or why. So faith doesn't really belong in wholesaling other than the initial start. So if a belief is not alone, how do you stick through this business, and how do you become a successful wholesaler? You ready? All great people, even outside of wholesaling, is they have conviction. Okay? Let me repeat that. All great salespeople have conviction. So I'm not talking about conviction in the criminal sense. That's a whole nother that's a whole nother conviction. So here's the definition of conviction. Okay. It's my definition, because this is what I believe in: an unwavering confidence in your belief. Let me repeat it. Conviction is an unwavering confidence in your belief. So here's what I see the difference from people that are successful in wholesaling or not. Everybody starts out with the same belief. Oh, I can make a lot of money. I can get freedom. If you use your why, it goes down deeper than that. It can never be just about money, because you will fail at that, because sometimes you won't do it. If you have conviction, okay, the word unwavering is key here. It just means, listen, I'm going over that bridge no matter what it takes. If I have to swim across, if I have to take a rope, a helicopter, or I have to backstroke or strap a rocket to my back, I'm going across. And unless I black out and die, I'm going to do it. Okay. So here's how you look at it. Belief is the software to your car, like it's the programming. Confidence, dude, that's the engine and the framework of the car, and you can never change it. And if you do that, I'm telling you, amazing things will happen in your wholesaling career. Okay. So many of you go out there and just have a basic belief. Having a why really helps anchor it, but you have to have some sort of conviction. I like to use the why because I was so frustrated working on the hamster wheel at age 33 and thinking I was providing for my family, and I was just buried in debt, and I was trying to keep up with the Joneses. I had it, man. Like, I had my moment, to just call it my coming to Jesus moment. I can't deal with this anymore. Like, I can't do it. And guys, at the end of the day, you can go back to your old life, but if you will move forward with churn your belief and drive it with convictions, absolutely amazing things happen. I'm telling you, this is, we got a lot of people on. Guys, conviction. Okay. So you can have a belief. The question is, do you have the conviction to carry it through? I believe your why is the bridge between belief and conviction. How do I know when people have conviction and a strong why? They stick through wholesaling. The people that just have a belief, and the minute they get an arrow shot in it, they quit wholesaling. And that's the difference between a super successful wholesaler and one that just does a few deals just here and there. So I'm going to tie this all together. You go, man, Rick, that's so basic. I'm telling you, it's the fundamental. You ever notice when somebody gets on a super hot streak in like wholesaling, they go, man, I just tied up 9 deals. I got 3 more coming in. And then the other guy or gal's going, I've been trying this for 8 months. I can't even get a deal. I don't even know if this stuff works. See, their belief is falling apart. There's no conviction to drive it home. And the why is probably falling apart too. And they're looking at plan B. So if you understand that, let's tie it all together here. Okay. I'm telling you this, your conviction will make up for any of your deficiencies, lack of experience, your age. I don't care. I've already told you, if you're super young and you're starting out wholesaling, make up for your lack of experience with enthusiasm, excitement. It is a huge difference. And I'm telling you, it will more than make up for it. Your conviction is everything. Have you ever been any type of coach, or you had like a really good coach? Their conviction of their belief in you is unwavering. It never changes. Even if like you're 0-15, they're like, we can win this game. And I remember like, why does that coach believe me so much? And I remember when I had a bad coach, they never believed in me or the team, and it just drove me nuts. Okay. So here's the other key to tremendous successful wholesalers is you have to believe in this. Read this on your screen. I gotta turn my head here to look at it. The person that cares the most about helping the sellers will be the buyer. End of story. Whoever cares the most. Have you ever heard of such a crazy piece of philosophy in your life? Honestly, if you take this statement for what I have on the screen, if you care more about your sellers, amazing things will happen. You have to care the most. It doesn't say in there you need to know the most. It means you have to care the most. Okay? Guys, we're almost done. I promise I'm jumping on the coaching calls. So, you have to care more about your seller's interest than they do. Wrap that around your head for 2 seconds. You have to care more about your seller's interest than they actually do. Once you understand that, I help out so many sellers, thousands and thousands. I met with over 10,000 plus. And guess what? I help them out even when I know they're screwing up. Sometimes they're fighting for price, and you look around the house, I got cockroaches going everywhere. I got rats screaming across my leg. And I'm just like, you have got to be kidding me. See, you have to help them out. Think about a child. Oh, like if you let a child do, they would eat. If you let them eat unlimited amounts of candy, they would do it. But you're not helping them by doing that. So as you become more experienced, you are there to help people out. Most people in a dirty, nasty house don't even understand the surroundings they're in. You have to help people out. Okay. I've saved at least 25 people from literal death by buying their houses. And I can go into details on these stories. People that were being abused, people that had like animals running around, like defecating all over the house, and they were being what do they call it? Ammonia poisoning from cats. I bought a house from a lady once. She had 53 cats. You know why she sold it to me? Because I cared the most about her cats. It wasn't the house. I went and found a home for every one of those cats. It was an absolute nightmare, but I did what I had to do because my conviction was so strong to be a successful wholesaler. I was willing to go above and beyond all means to get it done. And so people say, Rick, how do you do this 20 years? I just care about people. I want to help them out. And I lead every conversation with the seller is like, if I can't buy your house, I will help you get your house sold. And it always puts them at ease. So we're just about done here. So let's wrap this up. Sellers will actually feel and connect with your conviction while confronting their own beliefs. Let me read that again. Sellers will actually feel and connect with your conviction while confronting their own beliefs. So what I did is I just turned that around on you. Is if your conviction's strong and your seller's beliefs are off, and I'm here to tell you, more than half the time, the seller's beliefs are way off. Your convictions will override their beliefs, and you will actually do them a favor. Okay. Even if you don't get the deal right there, I've had people come back for a month or two when I don't overbid on a house and they go, Rick, you were right. Those two people put me under contract 3 months later and nothing ever happened. And you were the only one honest enough with me with the price and the condition of my house. And you were very respectful and you made me feel good. I made a mistake. And honestly, I know you're the right person. So if you understand that conviction is the driving seat for wholesaling, And if you don't have strong conviction, you are going to struggle in this business. I'm here to tell you, I've experimented with this and it is the difference. Okay. So I hear about your guys' beliefs, your whys, conviction. So you're going to start out with a belief in wholesaling. It'll get you financially free and get you where you want to go. And it will give you the freedom for the things you want to do with your family, friends, and everything you want to get done in life before we exit here. The why is going to be why you want to do it. That's all it is why. I want to spend more time with my wife, my kids, whatever it is. Like, for instance, with me, I didn't get a lot of time with my dad when I was young. I always felt like I missed out. And that's why you kind of see the way Zach is, because not that I over made up for it. I just made it a priority in my life. So my conviction is just set in stone. And the thing is, it doesn't change unless you don't allow me to buy a house. That's the only way you can take my conviction away. And even then, I'm probably still going to fight it. I wouldn't stop. So, guys, that's it. That's the key differences. I'm telling you, I know it sounds simple. If you just jumped in halfway through, let me hop this off here. This is recorded. You can go back to YouTube on Flip with Rick and go through it. You can pause it. I beg of you to watch this, because so many times we talk about the operations and the procedures of like meeting with people. Like, for some reason, we stop being human beings and connecting with people. And I think it's kind of the world we live in right now. And I'm telling you, here's the one thing in real estate it's not going to change. You can throw a coin at real estate. You can throw a TFN. You're still going to have to interact with humans. If you really think you can buy real estate with never, ever talking to anybody and just click of a button, you're better off in the stock market.